How was the interaction with the woman for you, talking about bad behaviors of men, normally someone in the parliament?
As I say, it wasn't a common occurrence and very little in the parliament, but as a leader you have to deal with it and do your best to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
And the gap, and there was a 101 century gap for women to catch up with men.
That's what the World Economic Forum report says, just issued in the last few days. It's called the Global Gender Gap Report, and they say that on current trends, which are going backwards, it would take 100 years to reach gender parity overall. So 99 years for parity in Parliament, etc. So this is not, of course, a good outlook, and it's very important to be discussing these issues in every country, in Mauritius and New Zealand, wherever, because practical things will need to be done to change that trajectory.
What can be done then? What women can do for that?
Well, I mean, women need male allies as well. I think the women do need to get organised, as I said. There needs to be a greater sense of urgency about it. Sometimes the annual meetings of the Commission on the Status of Women can be a bit routine. I think the women need to get somewhat louder now. As I said, there are many practical things you can do to increase quite quickly the numbers of women MPs, but the political parties have to change their attitude. They have to prioritise the election of women. Also, in the economy, you have to make it possible for women to work. Yes, there are the cultural issues, but over time, as more women work, more women will work. But you have to lift the burden of unpaid work, because as I said, 3 of every 4 hours of unpaid work are done by women. Care of children, care of elderly, care of people with disabilities, care of sick family members. And so if women are to be in the paid workforce, you have to have good services. You have to have access to early childhood education, childcare, you have to have proper elder care, care for people with disabilities. So you lift that load, because otherwise women feel, how can I go to work? I've got all these responsibilities with the family and no help. So a lot of things have to happen to make it possible.
Last question for me, was it easy to be a Prime Minister, to be a woman, to work with men in a parliament, in a cabinet? Was it easy for you?
Well, by the time I became Prime Minister, I had been a Member of Parliament for 18 years, so I was a very well-established figure, and I had sort of fought my way through a lot of barriers and broken the glass ceiling. So by the time I became Prime Minister, no, I did not have issues. But it's on the way up that you strike the issues, particularly when you are doing jobs that women really haven't done much before. I was the first woman to lead a major political party and to be leader of the opposition. This was very difficult. It was very difficult to be recognised as a viable candidate for Prime Minister, as the first woman to try to do that. So by the time you get there, it's almost the easy part. It's the getting there, the journey, that's the hard part.